Marine Fisheries Service and the Fish and Wildlife Service are now proposing new efforts in recent weeks to recover species which will impact reclamation's ability to deliver water that they had previously allocated. In the spring, the way the federal and state water projects work is that in April, the snow depths are measured. That's about the end of our snow in California and precipitation during our rain time period of the year. And they measure how much water is available to be allocated for all of the water contractors, both in the federal service areas and in the state service areas. But the action 2 months later that is being proposed by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and NIMS as a part of the NOAA federal agency, if this action is taken, it would be unprecedented for 2 months after allocations have been made based upon what we believe the snow to be in the mountains and the rain that we received this winter, to then somehow take that allocation back or dramatically cut it back. Despite an abundance of water in the Shasta Reservoir, it's almost full, the National Marine Fisheries Service is considering a temperature control plan that would limit releases of only 8,000 cubic feet per second of water. Now, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service is asking that we allow more water out, and of course, the National Marine Fisheries Service is asking that we restrict water to reserve a cold water pool. The constraints, which are required by existing regulations, have the following implications if, in fact, these actions are taken. One, it would prevent farmers in the Sacramento Valley from diverting water already promised by reclamation. Unheard of. It would limit reclamation's ability to export water to meet its commitments to the exchange contractors and senior water right holders in the San Joaquin Valley. Has not happened before. It could lead to reclamation having to make releases from Friant Dam, which is in my service area, to meet other contractors' needs and reduce water previously promised to farmers in the Friant system, for which the last 2 years they received a zero water allocation. In April, Reclamation said they could get 35% of their normal water, and then in May it was increased another 30% to 65%. And now they're talking about cutting it in half, maybe. Unacceptable. It would also be unlikely that Reclamation could supply the meager 5% of allocation that was made for south of the Delta agricultural water service contractors. And let me tell you, these contractors for over 2 years have had a zero water allocation. And hundreds and thousands of acres as a result of that have gone unplanted, fallowed. These are devastating impacts for farmers, farm workers, and the farm communities that I represent that work so hard every day to put food on America's dinner table. That's the consequences. Reclamation would be required to once again drain the reserves in Folsom Reservoir, Folsom Dam. These consequences, in my view, are unacceptable and should not occur. While the National Marine Fisheries Service is proposing water to be held in Shasta through the summer and fall, Fish and Wildlife Service is requesting additional outflow during the summer for increasing the habitat for Delta smelt. These conflicting requests make no sense. They make no sense to the person on the street. They make no sense if you try to explain it to people enjoying their dinner at their dinner table, and they certainly don't make any sense to the farmers, the farm workers, and the farm communities.